So I asked you to help out with my video blog today, and help out you did. You sent me in 12 different comments. I'm taking a slew of them and answering them. We're going to chat about them. Doing something a little different. Actually wrote them down on note cards, and I'm going to see if I can hit one of those, each one of those as we go, because there was a lot of good stuff there. I want to point out that you'll see a lot of motivational people, coaches, online or videos from them, and they're always in these pristine places, always very neat. The reality is that we're very busy people, and because of that, my desk is a mess because I've been working. I've heard that motivational speakers are often very messy, which makes me feel great because that's where I'm heading. So I'm perfectly suited for this line of work. As you can see, this is also part of my Mordant world. I hope you enjoy that look into my chaotic yet makes sense to me life. So let's get the first thing down here. Let me see. Continuing to do something that's hard, but knowing that it is good for you. Yeah, continue with doing something that's very difficult, even though, especially knowing that it's good for you. So a lot of times we'll begin our path for self-actualization, and once we get onto it, and then the work starts, and it becomes very, very difficult. One of the things that any of you who have read my book, you know that I had something happen to me when I was very young, and later in life decided to do something about it. I decided to see a therapist about it, and so I could begin some of my healing to really uproot some of that stuff and work on that. It was not an easy thing. I think therapy, I love therapy. I love my therapist who says I'm doing great. It's not an easy thing, but the end result is well worth it. So if you're in the middle of something, just try to remember, if you begin a new project where you're trying to do something that's going to be very difficult for you to do, write down or do something that will remind you when you're in the thick of things that, no, when I was of sound mind, this is what I needed to do. This is what I wanted to do. And I will continue to do this because it's for my betterment. And the end result is going to be that I am living into the fantastic person that I'm becoming. That's true in my life, and I'm sure the same thing is going to be true in yours. So that was this one. Now, avoiding self-sabotaging. That moves right into that. Yeah, just like now. It's often we'll start working on something, or we'll say we're working on something. Oh, I really need to work on this in my life. And if we have fears that hold us back, we have funny ways of getting out of that. There's fear of failure. Everybody knows about that. Everybody talks about that. But there's also the fear of success. So we have a tendency to self-sabotage. If you're not comfortable with intimacy in your life, a lot of times you will self-sabotage your relationships, or set yourself up with a relationship you know is doomed to fail. Oh look, I really gave my heart to this person who lives a million miles away. Oh look, I really gave my heart to this person who self-medicates with drugs and alcohol every day. I really tried, and the bad thing is that, or the stick in the mud, or the stick in the whatever, is that the feelings you feel are real. You really do feel very intensely for that person. It's not fake stuff, but you get to self-sabotage yourself by setting yourself up with something that's doomed to fail already. So, and I'm not saying for you people, for you underdogs out there, hey, don't go for those things. Many relationships have begun where the person has lived far enough away, and they worked it out, or the person who is self-medicating, cleaned up their act because of your relationship. But the law of averages is you don't want to self-sabotage yourself. You want to set yourself up with the thing that's going to succeed in your life so that you can become addicted to that success. So self-sabotage, bad. We all do it. Let's get beyond it. Toxic friends. Woo! That's what toxic friends. That's a good one. That was upside down. Toxic friends. That's a, we all have them. I've been chastised for using my crabs in a bucket analogy, so I will try not to do that. People like to keep the status quo. Your friends want to be your friends, and wherever you are in the hierarchy, they want to keep things the same. Anybody who watches Glee or remembers high school sees that there's a hierarchy that happens. There's a caste system that happens in high school, in life, and the people you are surrounded with are comfortable with that. Whether it's great or not great, they're comfortable with that. So they want to keep the status quo. Your toxic. Oh, I saw that behind me. Hey, look, ADD in action. Your toxic friends, may not like the changes as you start moving towards the better. And the sad thing is that as you move towards the better, you're going to want to move away from those toxic friends, and you're going to make new friends. Sad but true. But if you're an alcoholic and you joined AA, you're not going to want to hang out with your alcoholic friends. It ain't going to work. If you're on the road to being a positive person and having success in your life, and you're surrounded by people who are negative, it ain't going to work. You're going to annoy them. They're going to get under your skin, and soon you won't be friends, but you'll be making new friends. And it is kind of a sad thing, because those childhood people that we've grown up with help create who we are. But toxic is toxic, and it should be gotten rid of. So no more toxic friends. Not, oh, my writing, very, very bad. Not having bad writing. Not letting events in the past haunt your present or hurt your future. Don't be a victim of your past. Don't be, like I said, I had that childhood events that happened to me. Sexual abuse, things like that. But it's our choice to whether or not we're going to be a victim of that. Yeah, there are certain things that need to be done so you can work through everything. But, don't be a victim of your past. If you make mistakes, learn from them and move on. If people have done you wrong, find a way to experience detachment and use that bad for something good. I can now speak to, and do now speak to, other people who have gone through similar things. Some much more horrendous than what I went through. But I'm able to express, you know what, you're okay. You're okay, and you're going to be okay, because I'm okay. So don't be a victim of your past. Don't let those things that happened in your past haunt you or harm your future. Who you are begins today. So begin being that person. Yeah. Forgiveness. Beating yourself up for mistakes made. Absolutely. Same thing with, your past haunting you. We're told to forgive others, and the place that has to start is with ourselves. You have to forgive yourself, or you're not going to be able to forgive other people. Love begins at home. Love begins in the heart. It begins with your heart, and it begins with you. If you don't love yourself, other people are going to have a hard time doing it, and you're going to have a hard time loving other people. You need to forgive yourself for those wrongs that happen. Forgive and move on beyond them. Don't just forgive and redo, then you're just in a vicious cycle. But definitely forgive yourself, and know that you are a fantastic person, beginning now, beginning today. Move on beyond it. Whatever it takes to get to that point. You could, God, whatever, some AA, just talking to your friends and saying, I did this and I'm sorry. Look at the man or woman in the mirror and forgive that person too. And you're going to have a brighter day. I know I do. Whew. Back on the horse, baby. This was actually the first one that came in, I believe. Back on the horse. When all those things are said and done, get back on the horse and do it again. Not the bad thing. Get back on the horse and try again. How many of us are still hanging in there with our New Year's resolutions? If you've just done one or two things that are you're falling off that bandwagon, falling off that horse, get back on there. Don't let it ruin the whole thing. Hey, I'm going to give up sweets. Oh, I had a candy. Well, then I might as well just gorge myself. You know what? You don't have to. You can just have a day of a cheat day. A lot of workout people I know have one cheat day a week where they can eat whatever they want, and they get right back into it. But that's part of the deal they've set up. So remember, stumbling blocks and hurdles are put there so that you can learn how to deal with them. You can learn how to deal with that part of your life. They're not roadblocks to stop you. They're there to help you grow. Again, the gym analogy, the painful thing of tearing down your muscles helps you grow. So get back on the horse again. Don't let it stop you. It's not a roadblock. It's just a stumbling fence. It's just a hurdle. Well, that's the word we'll go with, hurdle. So there. Keeping a positive mental attitude. Keeping positive through the mountains of stress. I have recently read something called the happiness advantage, and he talked about two things. He talks about how when you have fight or flight, let's say you're out in the jungle and the tiger or panther jumps out at you. You have that fight or flight reaction so that your choices become finite. They become two choices. I'm going to fight this thing or I'm going to leave. So when you're really stressed out, that's what you have. I'm going to fight this thing or I'm going to leave. However, when you're happier, when you're open, then suddenly you see all the other options around. So the best thing, we say that success breeds happiness, but studies have shown that's not true. What actually happens is happiness breeds success. Again, Sean Acor, the happiness advantage. You'll be able to see all the other options that are available to you. That's great with your family. That's great in the workplace. That's great with anything creative you're doing. So remember, keep a positive attitude in the stress, and you're going to see all the other options, and you might even find the silver lining through these hurdles that you're going to have to go through. Remember, enjoy the little things. No matter what you're doing, no matter how busy you are, chasing and catching your dreams or whatever, stop. Smell the roses. Stop. Spend time with friends and family. Connect. It's all about connection and that human experience. We're all spiritual beings having a human experience. Share it with other people. Stop. Enjoy the small things, because those are the things you're going to remember in life. You're not going to remember how hard you worked. You're not going to remember all those, all the difficulties. At the end of the day, you're going to go, hey, this was a great day. This was a great day because I stopped and every once in a while I'll be on stage and I'll kind of look off into the woods and just enjoy the green. And then Ron or Jeff will smack me in the head and I'll go back to the show. So stop and enjoy the small things. I hope you have enjoyed this rapid fire vlog that I've given you, and you got as much out of it as I did. Thank you for sharing your ideas, and as always, welcome to my modern world.